Hey guys, it's Chris at Highline Guitars. You're watching another one of my YouTube guitar building videos. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope that by the end of this video, I'll have earned the honor and privilege of your subscription. In today's video, I'm going to install the humbucker pickups on my 6-string multi-scale fan fret guitar. In the last episode, I installed the bridges, and that's going to allow me to figure out how deep to install the pickups into the body of the guitar. And this is a little bit more complicated than you might think because these aren't standard off-the-shelf pickups. I can't install these with a pickup ring. These are an offset design, and they were completely fabricated by myself. The bobbins and the base plate were 3D printed, and then the pickup was assembled with adjustable pull screws on both bobbins. So what I'm going to be doing when I install these is I'm going to cut a block of wood that's going to fit between the pull screws on the back side of the pickup, and that will rest in the bottom of the pickup cavity. So what I have to do is I have to figure out how tall to make that block of wood, because I want the pickup to be sitting just below the strings so that I can adjust the pull pieces in order to dial in the distance between the bottom of the strings and the top of the pull pieces in order to get the best tone and sustain that I think the guitar will be capable of. So let me bring you in closer, and I'm going to show you the way that I'm going to be doing this. Okay, so what I want to do first of all is I want to mock into place one of the guitar strings. And I think the string that I'm going to mock up is going to be the string that's in the D string position. So I'll just kind of roughly dummy it into place. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. All I'm trying to do is figure out how far off the body the string is. And I'm just using a length of black sewing thread. And I have it resting here in the saddle of the D string bridge. So now what I can do is I can measure that distance, and I'll just use one of these string action gauges, and I'll see if I can determine how high the string is right off the body of the guitar. Okay, so I can tell that the bottom of the string is about 1/2 inch above the top of the guitar's body. So I basically have about 1/2 inch to play with. Since I know that the bottom of the string is 1/2 inch above the body of the guitar, I can now figure out how deep I want the pickup to sit down into the guitar body. And I think in order to give myself enough space for the pickup so that when I press the string down at the 24th fret, the string doesn't hit the top of the pickup, I think what I need to do is mount the pickup so that the top of the bobbin, or both bobbins, is about 3/8 of an inch above the top of the guitar body. That's for the bridge pickup. For the neck pickup, because the strings are heading downhill towards the nut, I'm going to make the neck pickup, the top of the neck pickup, 1/4 of an inch above the body. So what I have to do now is I have to figure out how tall I'm going to make the wood spacer that I'm going to mount or set the pickup on when I attach it to the body. So since I want the top of the pickup to be 3/8 of an inch above the body, and since the pickup pocket is 7/8 of an inch deep, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the height of the pickup, which in this case is 5/8 of an inch. So with the depth of the pickup pocket and the fact that I want 3/8 of an inch of the pickup sticking above the body, I'm going to need a spacer that is 1/2 inch tall. So it's going to be about 1/2 inch wide and then 1/2 inch tall. And that's going to allow me to place that pickup. So like I said, the top of the bobbin is 3/8 of an inch off the body. For the neck pickup, I'm going to do 3/8 of an inch spacer. So it's actually 1/8 of an inch shorter than the bridge pickup spacer. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out on my table saw, and that's what I'm going to use to set the height of both pickups. All right, now I can install the pickups and check to make sure that I have my height correct. That's perfect. I can raise the adjustable pole pieces if necessary to bring them closer to the bottom of the string. We'll see. In order to figure out exactly where I need to drill the pilot holes, I'm actually using the pickup mounting screws, and I'm inserting them into the tabs, the mounting tabs on each side of the pickup. And then I'm using a screwdriver just to press the tip of the screw into the bottom of the pickup cavity. And that's going to leave a little divot that will tell me where I need to drill the pilot holes. And I'll be using a 1/16 of an inch diameter drill bit in order to drill the proper size hole for a number 4 wood screw. The screws that I'm going to use to mount the pickup are just some number 4 wood screws that have a round top with Phillips slot. And what I need to do is drill a pilot hole based on what the holes that I just marked. And I know that the amount of wood, the thickness of the wood from the bottom of the pickup pocket to the back of the guitar is about 7/8 of an inch. And I know that when I install these screws and screw everything down tight, the screw is going to drop into that wood probably about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. So to play it safe, I'm going to drill my pilot hole 1/2 inch deep. And I've put a piece of tape on here to mark that depth because I don't want to drill through the back of the guitar. So I'm just going to drill those pilot holes like so. The pickups have now been direct mounted into the body. Now, the term direct mounting can be somewhat controversial. There are some folks who think that direct mounting means that the pockets have to be routed to a depth which is going to place each pickup at the specific height that it needs to be for optimal tone and sustain. And so you have to calculate what those depths are going to be, knowing that because the strings gradually descend towards the nut, your neck pickup is going to be a little bit lower into the body than the bridge pickup. So you have to route the pockets to those depths. And then when the pickup is installed, it's sitting directly on the bottom of the pocket, and the screws are used to mount it and tighten it down so that it can't move, but it can't be raised or lowered. That's what a lot of folks think direct mounting means. But then there are other people who think, no, direct mounting just simply means that the screws that mount the pickups are threaded directly into the bottom of the pocket in the body, and that you can use memory foam or springs underneath it so that you can raise and lower the pickups in order to achieve the correct pickup height. And what I've done is actually kind of a hybrid. I routed the pockets to the same depth. The bridge and the neck pocket are both 7/8 of an inch deep. Then what I did was I cut those wooden spacers which are underneath the pickups, and the neck pickup has a spacer that's about 3/8 of an inch tall, whereas the bridge pickup has one that's a little bit taller. It's 1/2 inch. And then the pickups actually sit on top of those spacers, and then the mounting screws are threaded directly into the wood, and then they are tightened down so that the pickups are firmly mounted into position. They cannot move. They will not vibrate. They will not wobble, and they are perfectly level. There's no angle or anything like that. And really, the only advantage to that is you avoid the potential, albeit it's a remote potential, of the pickups wobbling. If you've ever mounted pickups using rings and springs, you know that there can be the potential for the pickup to vibrate, especially as you're playing. And if you're playing standing in front of a big amplifier with lots of sound waves coming out of it, that can cause your pickups to vibrate in those pickup rings, which in turn can generate microphonic feedback. But by firmly mounting them to the body, that eliminates that as an issue. Although, as I said, it's fairly remote. That doesn't happen very often. I have had it happen to me in the past, but it's not something that's really common. Although I do like having the pickups firmly mounted. And with this particular design of pickups, each bobbin has adjustable pole pieces. So once I string it up, if I feel like the pickups aren't close enough to the strings for optimal tone and sustain, I can simply adjust those pole pieces. I can raise them up in order to achieve the tone and sustain that I want. And another adjustment that I can make is if I want to change the height of the pickup, I can either cut new spacers that are taller, or I can just take the spacers I cut and make them shorter by sanding off some of the surface so that the pickup sits at a different height. I don't think that's going to be necessary in this situation because I was fairly careful at determining how thick I needed to make those spacers. But with those pickups now installed into place, the next step is going to be to string up the guitar. And of course, to do that, I need to make the nut. And that's probably what I'm going to do in the next episode, is I'm going to make the nut, and then I'm going to string up the guitar, and I can start to adjust the string height, the action of the guitar. And then I can start to look at doing the final bit of fret work and get the frets leveled, crowned, and polished. Then I'll move on to installing the electronics. But for the next episode, it's going to be the nut. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If so, give it a thumbs up. That always helps the channel. It's a great way to show support. You don't have to spend any money. No one's going to spam you. YouTube isn't going to email you or anything like that. But if you want to take your support to the next level because you really appreciate what I'm doing here, you can visit eguitarplans.com or my Highline Guitars merch store. And there you can purchase plans for building guitars, the tools that we use to make guitars, t-shirts, coffee mugs, hoodies, all those kind of things. And any purchase you make is going to help support this channel so that I can keep making these guitar building videos and share my knowledge with you. And if you want to keep your support simple, you can click the thanks button and leave a tip in the amount that you think is fair. So as always, be sure to post your comments or questions down below, and either I or someone in the community will chime in to answer or respond back. And until the next episode, as always, take care, stay safe, and I hope you'll be back for more guitar building videos.